Do you remember those foods that you once loved but are no longer available? Ah, the sweet and sometimes savory taste of nostalgia. Welcome to the Nostalgia Kitchen, where we reminisce about the flavors of the past that have vanished from our shelves and our palates. You know, there's something special about the foods we grew up with. They were more than just sustenance. They were part of our celebrations, our comfort on a bad day, and the spark of our childhood memories. But as time passes, some of these foods have faded into the annals of history, leaving us with just a hint of their taste on the tip of our tongues. Today, we're going to revisit the top 20 foods that have disappeared from our lives, but not from our hearts. Foods that were once the highlight of our day and now exist only in our memories. So get ready for a delectable journey. Join us as we take a culinary trip down memory lane. Let's start our journey with the first 5 nostalgic food items that are no longer with us. Our first stop on this culinary memory lane is the classic Crispy Critters cereal. Introduced in the mid-60s, this breakfast delight was shaped like animals and was the only cereal that went crunch, crunch, roar. It was loved by kids and adults alike for its unique shapes and satisfying crunch. However, due to low sales, this critter-filled cereal set its last roar in the late 80s. Next, we have the unforgettable space food sticks. Born in the era of space exploration, these chewy, cylindrical energy snacks were designed for astronauts, but quickly found their way into lunchboxes across America. Despite their popularity, they vanished from the shelves in the late 70s. Our third lost delicacy is the iconic McDonald's fried apple pie. Now don't get confused. Apple pies are still on the menu, but they're baked, not fried. The original fried version, introduced in the late 60s, was a hot, crispy, and delightfully messy treat. It was replaced by the baked version in the 1990s due to health concerns. Fourth on our list is the beloved Jell-O 1-2-3. This dessert made magic right in your glass, separating into 3 distinct layers as it set. Despite its magical appeal, it was discontinued in the late 80s, leaving many dessert lovers longing for the multi-layered marvel. And finally, we remember the Pepsi AM. This was Pepsi's attempt to break into the breakfast market, offering a caffeine boost to start your day. Despite the initial buzz, the concept didn't take off, and Pepsi AM was short-lived, leaving the stage in the late 80s. These foods surely left a mark in our taste buds. Each had a unique story, a distinct flavor, and a reason why they were cherished. Yet, changes in consumer preferences, market dynamics, or health consciousness led to their disappearance. They might be gone, but certainly they are not forgotten. Now let's move on to the next ones. Continuing our journey, here are the next 5 foods that are no longer available. First, we have the Orbitz drink, a quirky beverage from the late 90s, known for its little edible balls suspended in the drink. It was a novelty, a fun experience, and a conversation starter. Unfortunately, it didn't last, and by the turn of the millennium, Orbitz had disappeared from store shelves. Next, we have the Reggie Bar. Named after the legendary baseball player Reggie Jackson, this milk chocolate, caramel, and peanut treat was a home run for candy lovers in the 70s. However, as Reggie's career waned, so did the popularity of his namesake candy, leading to its eventual retirement. Then there's the McDonald's Hula Burger. In the 60s, Ray Kroc, the mastermind behind McDonald's, created the Hula Burger specifically for Catholics who abstained from meat on Fridays. It was a cheese-topped, grilled pineapple slice served on a bun. While it was a creative solution, the Filet-O-Fish ended up being the more popular choice, leading to the Hula Burger's decline. Fourth on our list is the Jell-O 1-2-3. This dessert was a marvel of culinary science, transforming from a single liquid into 3 distinct layers when chilled. It was a hit in the 60s and 70s, but by the 80s, sales dropped and it was discontinued. Lastly, we have the Heinz Easy Squirt Colored Ketchup. This was a fun twist on a classic condiment with vibrant colors like green and purple. It was a hit with kids in the early 2000s, but eventually the novelty wore off, and people returned to traditional red ketchup, leading to the product's discontinuation. As we journey through these lost flavors, we can't help but feel a sense of longing. Let's explore more. Let's delve deeper into our past with the next set of 5 foods that don't exist anymore. First on our list is the delightful space food sticks, a chewy snack developed by Pillsbury in the late 60s. These were essentially energy bars, designed to provide astronauts with nutrition during their space missions. Earthlings fell in love with them too, for their novel concept and convenience. Yet, as the space race cooled down, so did the interest in these extraterrestrial treats, leading to their eventual discontinuation. Next, we have the iconic Jell-O 1-2-3, a magical dessert that separated into three distinct layers as it set. This product was a hit in the 80s for its unique presentation and the fun involved in making it. However, the increasing demand for healthier, less processed foods led to its disappearance from the shelves. Our third blast from the past is the Reggie Bar, named after the popular baseball player Reggie Jackson. This round, chocolate-covered caramel and peanut treat was a home run back in the 70s. But as Reggie's career waned, so did the popularity of his namesake candy bar. Fourth on our list is the unforgettable McDonald's Arch Deluxe. Launched in the 90s as a gourmet burger for adults, it promised a sophisticated taste with its secret Arch sauce. Despite the massive marketing campaign, the Arch Deluxe didn't quite hit the mark with its target audience and was eventually phased out. Our final taste from the past is the tantalizingly tangy Tartan Tinies. These tiny, cylindrical candies were a favorite in the 80s for their intense flavors and fun-to-eat form. However, they fell victim to changing candy trends and were discontinued, leaving many sweet tooths nostalgic. The memory of these foods still lingers. But wait, there's more. As we near the end of our journey, let's reminisce about the final 5 foods that are no longer available. First up, we have the legendary Magic Middles. These delightful cookies had a soft, sweet filling that exploded in your mouth with every bite. Keebler, the company behind this treat, discontinued it in the early 90s, leaving legions of fans bereft. The unique combination of a crunchy cookie shell and a luscious, gooey center simply hasn't been replicated since. Second on our list is the unforgettable Carnation Breakfast Bar. In an era when breakfast on the go was gaining popularity, these bars became a staple for many busy individuals. Packed with nutrients, they served as a quick, convenient breakfast option. Unfortunately, they vanished from the market in the late 80s, and breakfasts have never been the same. Then, we have the iconic McDonald's fried apple pie. The crispy, deep-fried crust encasing a sweet, tangy apple filling was a treat loved worldwide. However, the fast food giant decided to bake their pies instead of frying them. The taste and texture changed, and the original fried version became a thing of the past. Next is the Quisp cereal, a sugar-coated, saucer-shaped breakfast cereal that was a hit in the 60s and 70s. Quaker Oats, the company behind Quisp, decided to discontinue it due to declining sales. However, the cereal's quirky alien mascot and unique taste made it a beloved memory for many. Finally, we remember Jell-O 1-2-3, a dessert that magically separated into 3 layers as it set. It was a spectacle to watch and a delight to eat, but it disappeared from the shelves in the 80s. Its disappearance left a void in the dessert aisle that hasn't been filled since. These foods may no longer exist, but their memories are still fresh in our minds. The taste of these lost delicacies lingers on our tongues, and their absence reminds us of the ephemeral nature of food trends. While we can't bring them back, we can certainly cherish the joy they once brought to our palates. Let's take a moment to reflect on the 20 foods we've discussed today. We embarked upon a journey that took us back in time, revisiting the tastes and textures of the past. We started with the once popular supper club, a hearty meal that served as the cornerstone of family dinners, now replaced by modern dining options. We then delved into the world of the Burger Chef's Fun Meal, a childhood favorite that was overtaken by the rise of fast food giants. We also remembered the Orbitz drink, with its floating edible balls, a unique concept that was perhaps too ahead of its time. We ventured into the world of sweets and desserts, reminiscing about the Mars Delight, a chocolate bar that was as rich in flavor as it was in history. We also brought back memories of the Jell-O 1-2-3, a dessert that was as fun to make as it was to eat. We also discussed the unique and vibrant flavors of the Planters cheese balls, a snack that was loved by many but couldn't stand the test of time. We explored the history of the pudding roll-ups, a fun and whimsical treat that was part of many childhood memories. In our journey, we also touched upon the Crystal Pepsi, a clear cola that promised a refreshing new taste but ended up being a marketing misstep. We also remembered the unique taste of the High C Ecto Cooler, a drink that was as colorful as the cartoons it was associated with. We concluded with a tribute to the McPizza, a bold attempt by a burger giant to enter the world of pizzas, which couldn't quite capture the hearts of the pizza lovers. Each of these foods had a unique story, a distinctive taste, and a special place in our hearts. They may have disappeared from our shelves, but they live on in our memories and our shared nostalgia. Though these foods may be gone, they are certainly not forgotten. As we end our nostalgic journey, We hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. It's been a delight revisiting these lost delicacies that once tantalized our taste buds. A big heartfelt thank you to all of you for embarking on this culinary time travel with us. Your support means the world to us. We're always keen to hear your thoughts and reminiscences. Do you remember any of these foods? Or perhaps you have a personal favorite that we missed? We'd love to hear your stories, so don't be shy, share your memories in the comments below. Also, we're always on the lookout for interesting topics to explore. If there's a particular subject you'd like us to delve into in our future videos, please let us know. We're genuinely interested in discovering topics that excite you. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Until next time, keep cherishing those delicious memories.